Alright, what is up everybody? Welcome to yet another reading. Yeah. I just did Rainbow Dash Discovers Dragon Force, and it was a lot of fun to read. I hope you liked the picture on that, by the way. And, yeah, this is another one. It's called Caught, and, so it's romance and human. And, so it's a Stalkerloo story. Yeah, it has Stalkerloo and OC in it, this is the description. So, I was in the office one night, hoping to complete some spreadsheets my boss told me to. Okay. For the past week, some files have been going missing in the office, and a strange smell's been wafting around like this place is a frickin' bakery. After the boss had just left, I caught the thief red-handed, or rather, red-hoofed. Short story I thought of at 5 a.m. October 3rd. It took me 2 hours on and off to complete this. Had to start straight on so I wouldn't forget it. First person me ex Stalkerloo. She reminds me a lot of Sam Fisher from Splinter Cell. Oh god, this is not a fuck. I promised myself I would not do these ones. Whatever, let's do it anyway. I love romance stories, by the way. This seems like it could be a blah blah. It could be a pretty long story too. Oh God. All right, let's go. Told from a first-person POV. Felt like writing this after getting the idea suddenly at 5 in the morning. It's amazing what sleep can do to your mind. That's why I fear sleep, lol. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this quick fic, even though it's 4,000 words. Okay, let's go. I've been working late hours at the office for about a month already. Boss keeps giving me work to do, even though I keep telling him I will not put up with a lot of his shit. He laughed it off, assuming it was a joke. I hate that man sometimes, but hey, he's the asshole who gives me my pay. Well, at least I get extra for the work I do. If he ever said this was actually my voluntary work, he'd wake up in the parking lot the next morning, with concrete around his shoulders. Anyway, there I was, sitting at my desk, typing out some spreadsheets the boss told me he needed for a meeting with the head of another company within this week. Considering how fast I can be on the keyboard, I can actually finish all this crap in, say, half an hour? My headphones were on as I finally typed out the last few words into their boxes. Tiesto was on, and damn, he's pretty good at what he does. I was already headbanging to the music. Luckily for me, the headphones don't fall off so easily. I'm sorry, but I cannot headbang to that music. You know, I headbang more to stuff like, I don't know, Lamb of God, Dragon Force, Avenged Sevenfold, Bullet for My Valentine. I can headbang to that, but to Tiesto? I'm sorry, but no. That's just not my style. There was a knock on my door, which, had my music been any louder, I wouldn't have noticed. Come in, I said, not bothering to turn around. However, I took my headphones off and lowered the volume a bit. I spun around in my office chair, which thankfully was one of those spinny-type office chairs. What were those things called again? Lazy chairs? I shook my head off the thought before I turned to look who had knocked on the door. Boss is standing at the door with one of the biggest dopey-ass grins he ever had. I arched an eyebrow, wondering what could possibly be on his mind. Just dropping by. His smile shrunk a bit. Damn, my cheeks hurt. He cleared his throat. Anyway, I'll be heading off now. You know what to do, right? Lock every door and make sure security gets the keys. And don't forget to turn off the light. Those bills can be extremely expensive. I nodded, and he turned to leave. I was going to spin back and face my monitor, but then he turned to face me again. This time, his smile gone completely. Look, he began. I'm sorry if I've been a little rough on you this month. It's just... Blah. I haven't really gotten the time to do this shit myself. You know about me and my girlfriend, right? I nodded and arched an eyebrow. Well, shit's not going that well. I've been establishing the whole relationship for the whole month, and thank God, the ship has been safe with her crew. I shrugged and managed to smile. I was wondering why the ship was sinking in the first place, but I guess it would be better if I don't ask. It would be rude to anyway. My boss shook his head. No, it's okay. If the staff are ever curious about my personal life, I'll just be honest with whatever they ask. My girlfriend doesn't even mind all the questions, I think. I frowned. You think? Dude, that's like threading on thin ice. It would be best not to make such assumptions, you know? I don't know. I'm just happy that she's happy. Simple as that. I get your point, but still, I'd be careful on the assumptions if I were you. I mean, it's not like I have a girlfriend or anything, but if I did, I wouldn't be rolling over a minefield. Oh, and what makes you think you'll actually be Whoa, I just derped there. Oh, and what makes you think you'll actually be a better man towards somebody than me? Towards my girlfriend, the boss snickered. I went silent for a few moments before I finally shrugged. Well, one thing's for sure. Women hate it when you assume. It's like pulling a red card on a player who fucked up a penalty kick. I'm just saying. It depends on how badly the player fucks up the penalty kick, he snickered again. If he knocks someone out with the ball, then he's worthy of receiving a red card. Okay. There's something on my cup. What the fuck is this? Whatever. I opened my mouth, but then I noticed something. Something blurred had run past behind my boss. It was fast, and I had blinked at the moment. I surely would have missed it. And wait, had I blinked at the moment, I surely would have missed it. I disregarded the entity to be a figment of my imagination, probably due to sleep deprivation. Damn it, I can't read these fancy words. Where was I? I reopened my mouth and spoke again. I doubt any player could overestimate the force he needs to score a goal. I shrugged. Anyway, I'm almost done with your spreadsheets and all that shit. Would you like these on your desk or saved to my computer for printing tomorrow morning? The boss scratched his head for a moment. Well, I guess it would be better to save it on your computer for tomorrow. Anyway, I'd like to thank you again for helping me out now, while I'm in one hell of a pickle. I shrugged. It's okay, as long as I'm getting paid, you chuckled. Wait, what? I chuckle? What? The fuck? The boss grinned and nodded. Of course you're still getting paid. If not, I doubt you'd even be here. You'd probably be at home watching your ponies and shit. My chuckle faded away. Wait, dude, who told you I was into ponies? Was it that freak by the water cooler every time I go to the bathroom? I swear, that guy has some nuts loose in that frickin' noggin of his. The boss held up a hand. Relax, everyone has a hobby. I wouldn't be working on my gas-powered crossbow if I didn't have a hobby. Van Helsing was a good movie. I nodded. That'd be true. The story could have been better, but overall the movie was awesome. I shrugged and frowned a bit further. It's a shame that such movies aren't being made that often. I'd pay a lot to watch some movies like this. And skip your office work? Fuck off, he grinned. What if I invited you? I sneered. Then you can watch the movie. Fuck you. Oh, someone told the boss he's a brony. I'm sorry, but scumbag. The two of us shared our laughs for a short moment there, but then the boss nodded and left. I returned to my work before something finally flashed across my mind. Recently, there have been several files going missing from several computers across the office. I was lucky that my files had stayed untouched, but this morning I had found out that my office 10 screws were a tad loose. I suspected sabotage by my other colleagues, but there was nothing I can do to prove it. Moreover, there had been a musky scent that had been wafting around my office, and the area outside my office as well. It was kind of weird, actually. The missing files and mysterious smell started from last week, and it's only becoming more obvious. I should have asked my boss, what the fuck's happening? I sighed and resumed my work. I slipped my headphones on and resumed Windows Media Player. Pretty soon I was nodding in time with the beats of the track I was listening to. The last spreadsheet took about 10 minutes to finish. Partly because I had trouble reading the boss's handwriting, but mostly because my Skype was on. It was a Brony chat that kept popping up with messages. Brony? Oh, fan of the show called My Little Pony Friendship's Magic. A lot of guys, but I don't really care. I get more friends to hang out with because of the show, and that made me very, very happy. At least the Skype Bronies kept me entertained while I'm at work, doing the same old boring routine almost every day. Oh, shit. Oh, crap. I felt a drop on my hand. Instinctively, my hand reached up and felt the spot. I expected my hair to be wet from the drop, but it wasn't. Instead, I found a screw, and my blood froze when I brought it in front of my face to look at it. It was extremely familiar, like my office desk screw. My blood froze further. I tried my best to remain calm as I took my headphones off and set them on my desk. I opened up Command Prompt on my computer and maximized it, and there in the darkness of the command prompt, I could see two green glowing orbs at the top of my monitor. I had opened Command Prompt to see if people were checking on me before, but now it's useful to check if there's anything checking on me. I closed Command Prompt and got up from my chair. If I look up now, whatever's in my event would either disappear or find me personally. I walked over to my office door while contemplating whatever it was that could possibly be in my vent. Things were silent, and the only thing I could hear was breathing. Except it wasn't only my breathing. Whatever was in the vent, it completely disregarded the fact that this breathing could be heard softly emitting from the vent. I didn't realize at the time that the screws were already on the floor by the time I reached the door. It was only after I glanced outside and noticed that all my office mates were gone I did notice the sound of my vent opening. I quickly shut the door. I hid the lights, bathing my office room in darkness. The only light that was in the room was the light coming from my computer monitor and the green glow coming from the vent. However, the green glow was gone almost immediately after the lights went out. I held my breath. Oh boy, Stalkerloo, I bet. From the glow of my computer screen, I could see the rope that was lowered into my room from the vent. I tried to keep still and as silent as possible as I watched the rope lower onto the floor. What happened next was completely out of my imaginative capabilities. A being slipped down the rope. Thanks to the glow from the computer... A being slid down the rope. Thanks to the glow from the computer monitor, I could actually tell what was sliding down the rope. What's even more surprising is that I know the being. It was a pony. But not just any pony. It was Stalkerloo. Yup. That's Stalkerloo, alright. If I could have recoiled from the shock, believe me, I would. But then I'd go straight through my office wall. I watched the filly slide down the rope. It was weird. The filly was wearing a turtleneck sweater and had what I assumed to be night vision goggles. And then the smell got stronger. It was only then I did consider the possibility that the smell came from the little filly. I couldn't think straight at the moment. Something from the show suddenly appearing in my office, smelling musky and all that shit, was potentially responsible for the missing files as well. I was just making assumptions. The things that women tend to hate. And then the night vision goggles flashed on. The green glowing orbs returned, and the filly swept her vision across the room. I was wondering what the filly could be looking for, but then I realized something particular about the smell. A friend of mine from the Sky Bronies chat had actually described the smell of horses that tended to be in heat when the time came. Every single detail he had described fit completely with the smell wafting around the room. Oh God. Oh shit. I see where this is going, alright. On my computer monitor, I could see the Skype messages popping up, no doubt asking where I was. The sweep of the glowing orb stopped, coming to rest upon me. I was standing still, trying not to do anything. The only problem was, the musky smell seemed to have an effect on it once it gets stronger. All parts of me were still, except for that one part I find extremely hard to control unless I think of something completely random. Grilled rice. Mm-hmm. I see what he's talking about. For those of you that don't, his penis! I tried to stifle my laugh as the thought suddenly filled my mind, but a bit of it managed to escape, making me sound like I chuckled. Hey, human, where's all of the spreadsheets your boss has been assigning people to do for him? The filly spoke. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. And what would a filly like you need the spreadsheets for? You asked. Wait, now it's becoming self-insertion? What? I don't even... The filly let go of the rope and let her hooves collide with the floor. Need it for research? I knew right away that the filly was lying. What would a filly like her need spreadsheets for work that isn't even related to ponies? I eyed the fillies. It was weird that she was wearing a turtleneck sweater and somehow possessed night vision goggles. What are you even doing here in the first place? I wanted to know badly how and why the filly could be here. The filly frowned. Why are you asking so many questions, human? Come on, all I need are the spreadsheets and I'm gone. She seemed a little irritable. I assumed that what my friend said on Skype was true. I shook my head. Tell me first. Not that I'd let you take the spreadsheet anyway. It's a bad thing to steal. I switched on the office lights. Skula made an audible wince as the light stung her eyes through her night vision goggles. Celestia, damn it, human! I have eyes too, you know. Oh, nice. I was lucky there was nobody else in the office at this hour. Otherwise, anyone else could have heard Skula's loud complaints. Your fault for sneaking around in the first place. Now tell me, why are you here? She took her night vision goggles off and threw them onto the carpeted floor of my office. Somehow those things crashed into my CPU, but I didn't pay the goggles any attention. She was rubbing her eyes while still hissing. You'll never find out. They'll never forgive a traitor. I shut the lights off again, hoping to ease the strain on the poor filly's eyes. Tell me, who are this they you are talking about? The filly paused, as if sensing that she'd have to come cleaner sooner or later anyway. She sighed and stopped rubbing one of her eyes. I noticed that it's somewhat watery, but assuming it's from the rubbing. Well, I've been going through these weird changes and stuff, you know? I nodded. I know. The filly shook her head, as if denying something. I couldn't have come at a worse time. Right when my first heat is due, I get assigned to steal things from the human world for the purpose of research. I don't even know what the stuff I've been taking is used for. She shuddered a bit. She continued, I've been in quite a jam since the whole stealing information for research thing. I'm not really used to stealing stuff from other ponies. She paused before resuming once. All this gear I used to use with Sweetie Belle and Apple Bloom during our days together. She inhaled. You know who those two are? I was silent for a few moments. I was contemplating what would be the right thing to say to this filly. If I saw her, I knew her friends, chances are that she would spaz out and just disappear using whatever spy technique she has. But then again, I had to be honest. Relationships among humans are built upon truth, so I believe that should be the same amongst ponies. I shrugged and nodded. What happened, Stalkerloo? The filly didn't seem... For some reason, I think like there's a buzz in my mic for some reason. I don't know. The filly didn't seem as shocked at all that I knew its name, but rather corrected me. Stalkerloo. Stalkerloo was my old name. Friends call me Stalker now. She shrugged and shuddered slightly. Maybe because they were never realized they were being followed until I gave them hints. The filly shivered further. They promised me for a solution for this heat if I got them what they wanted. But it's always, you're not done yet, or this is not what you're looking for. Well, fuck them. She grimaced. Has your office always been this cold? I shook my head. This is rather warm, actually. You should feel how cold my boss's office is. I got down on one knee and eyed the filly, who had stopped rubbing her eyes. You still haven't answered my question yet. Who do you mean by they? Twilight was all that she said. Before going into another shiver. Oh, dude, this sucks. She started shifting uncomfortably from her sitting position. Why did I even listen to Twilight anyway? She groaned. This shit's been making all my work extremely difficult. You're not even supposed to know I'm around. I pitied the little filly. Animals in heat probably require what humans strive to obtain from time to time. A release. I could offer a release, but then what would that make me? I guess I'd be guilty as well for screwing the thief who stole documents and shit from her office during the night. My office has no security cameras, which meant I'm safe. I gave everything a quick calculation. Security downstairs usually sees me out 2 hours after the boss leaves, and an hour had barely passed since my boss left. The office was empty now. There's only me left to finish the crap the boss had There's only me left to finish off the crap the boss had assigned me to do. This story is starting to get a bit interesting. I'm guessing we're gonna now. So you're doing all of this stealing just to find a release? I asked. The filly glanced up from the floor to my face. I used to do this all for the thrill of it. The feeling of adrenaline flooding my veins as I escaped was something precious. It's probably what Rainbow Dash feels like whenever she reads a Daring Do novel. She shuddered. But I guess you're right. Now I'm forced to do all of this to make sure this heat is gone. The only problem is their end of the bargain is never really done. I mean, the filly shuddered again. Fuck them. I want to get rid of this heat and go back to Apple Bloom and Sweetie Belle. Oh shit. Oh no. Don't do it. Oh no, he's not. No. Come on. I guess this filly must be desperate. I can't imagine what going through heat would feel. I contemplated it as if I should give this filly the release she was practically dying for. I glanced over at my office window and the view over the silent city. Sighing, I closed the shutters of my office windows and turned back to the filly. Would you stop all this if I promised you were released from all your heat? I asked. Filly tilted her head, obviously confused. And what would you know about relieving ponies of their heat? She seemed skeptical. You're a growing filly, right? The filly nodded before shuddering again. Well, if I'm not wrong, at some point in life a pony will go through heat, which means that the pony would be ready to mate. Doesn't that explain the smell? Oh shit. The filly shrugged, apparently unsure. I've been feeling rather hot behind there. She shook her head. Mating, you say? How could Twilight guarantee a release from that? I'm such a fool. I shook my head. You didn't know any better. It's not your fault. The smell was starting to intensify. Its effect soon it's a blah blah blah. Its effect soon taking. Wow, really, Rainbow? That hard? Jesus. Its effect soon taking place. So, would you stop all of it? The filly nodded ferociously, apparently wanting to end her mating call more than anything at the moment. I'll even return thanks if you could get rid of this feeling. It's extremely annoying, she shuddered. No, you won't. You fucking filly you filly fooler. Nah, I kid filly foolers. I thought over what I was going to do next. There was going to be some trouble with what I was about to do. The potential risk of getting a disease or infection from screwing a pony, the chance of getting caught, even the possibility of pregnancy. Ponies and horses can't get pregnant from human. Ponies and horses can't get pregnant from human sperm. That I was sure of, but this was a cartoon pony. Who knows what's possible? Oh well, I threw all the thoughts out of the window and approached the filly. You know what to do, right? The filly shook her head. So far, the only thing I can do is touch my sensitive point, and that only relieves me just a bit. There's nothing else I can do to solve this shit. I thought things over for a moment. I'm just going to have to be blunt whatever I should do. Turn around. I can probably do a better job than you did. Oh, no, you won't. You fucking won't. No. Okay. I'm gonna admit. I kinda fuck. Really? Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna keep going. Stalkerloo's face was in disbelief for a brief moment. But then she turned around, pointing her swollen, musky mare hood at me. Damn, was the smell even stronger now? I got down on my knee and balancing myself by setting my one of my hands on her flank. Her tail twitched a bit upon contact with her flank, and a small moan was heard. I ran my fingers around her wet mare hood, causing her to shiver very violently whilst moaning. I figured that I should be quick and stuck a couple of fingers into her pussy. No. She gasped and a chill ran through her whole body. I pushed my fingers in deeper, making her moan even more. I pulled my fingers back, but not all the way out, and pushed them back into her. She was now releasing a round of throaty moans as I continued fingering her. Damn, you're good at this, Schoolie stuttered. Okay, ill. The filly had already had her juices flowing down her inner thighs before I was even admitted into the fingering. I guess this will be good enough. I pulled my fingers out, much to the annoyance of Stalkerloo. Wait, was it just Stalkerloo? What? Well, shit. I unbuckled my pants and took them off, my boxers following a few moments later. I was already hard from the smell and the sight of Stalkerloo's pussy. And a bit hesitant about what I was going to do. The hesitation was gone quickly when Stalkerloo wiggled her flank, urging me to finish up what I had started a long time ago. Oh, God. I want to read this, but kind of not at the same time. I ran the tip of my penis along Stalkerloo's tight, wet slit, elicting a few moans from the filly. I continued for a few seconds before I made my move. I ran my whole penis inside her in one swift thrust. Stalkerloo gasped and shuddered heavily, now lowering her front half onto the floor, leaving only her flank up. No doubt for me to finish what I have to. I grabbed her flank with flanks. With both of my hands, I started pulling out slowly. Her moans were louder than before, and I rammed it back into her. Oh, God. It started off slowly, with the moans gradually becoming even louder. It felt amazing, and I'm sure it felt the same for the filly, judging by the moaning and shuddering. I picked up the pace, Stalkerloo's moans becoming shorter and sharper. This is so wrong. This is so wrong. I increased my pace further. I was certain that I would lose myself quickly, feeling the warm, wet walls caress my penis as I rammed her. The walls were starting to grip harder, an indication that she was going to release soon. I, on the other hand, was not done yet. Deciding that it would be better to increase my pace further, I did so. Stalkerloo was making short and sharp gasps now as I continued ramming her. I was in pure bliss as I slowly felt my climax approaching. The filly, on the other hand, had had enough. Right there and then, she let out a cry of... The hell? Where was I? That was weird. Oh yeah. Right then and there, she let out a cry of ecstasy as she orgasmed. Her walls contracted hard against my penis, but I was still able to ram her a bit. The filly's exhausted moans still continued as I rammed her repeatedly from behind. The feeling of climax so close now, I finished with a few hard thrusts into the moaning filly. The pressure build-up lasted only a short while before I released my load in the Stalkerloo. The filly panted as she felt the warm seat flood her insides. I pulled out and fired the last few strands of seed all across her flank and turtleneck sweater. I was panting, she was panting, and this continued through the few minutes of silence that followed after what had finished. I managed to recover my breath and was reaching out to the paper on top of my printer to wipe off the cum, but Stalkerloo seemed to sense so. Let me do it. It's the least I can do for what you've done for me, she said. And so I stopped reaching for the paper as she turned around and started licking at my flaccid penis. There's no way it's coming up again tonight after what just happened, so I let her continue. The musky scent that had flooded the office had receded somewhat. However, my office stank of the sex Stalkerloo and I just had. I'm going to have a bad time explaining this to my boss. Unless I, of course, get air fresheners. Yeah, that could work as well. Stalkerloo was done quick. Wait, so... Yeah. Stalkerloo was done quick and grinned at me. I really can't thank you enough for helping me out. Then a proposition came back in mind. Do you still want your spreadsheet back? I mean, I could return it and all. I shook my head. I had a backup of all the files anyway. There's really no need to return them. Unless you take tonight's spreadsheets, then you're screwed. I grinned. The filly shrugged and retrieved her night vision goggles. I might not mind the screwing the next time I go into another heat cycle. I might just find you again to solve my problem, she winked. I guess I'm free now, since Twilight promised a release, but didn't really do so. Stalkerloo shook her head. Won't be helping her again anytime soon. Damn people interrupting me. Stalkerloo shook her head. Oh, wait. Won't be helping her again anytime soon. I'll be going now, but I'd hope to see you soon. She grinned and climbed up the rope back into the vent. A few minutes passed before I realized my pens were still down. I pulled them back up and pretended that nothing had happened. I finished up my spreadsheets and quickly backed up the files. Only after I had backed up my files did I notice one thing. How the fuck did Stalkerloo get into the human world anyway? I say that was, different. Yeah, definitely. So, yeah. That ending, it was definitely different from all the other stories that I read. It's kind of like Twine Me, but in a different way. Yeah, but it was definitely enjoyable, you know? Yeah. I really like Stalkerloo, though. Yeah, that's really all I got. Really don't have anything to say now. So yeah, I guess I'll be seeing you guys in the next video. Later, guys.